So let's talk about change, my brothers and sisters. Let's talk about change. Now, a lot of us have been deceived with religion to think change is going to be in a hocus pocus way. So the only way I see us snapping us back into reality is making us see what happened when everything got taken over, or when stuff got taken from us. When something get taken from us, do it be hocus pocus? Do it be alien? Do it be a bomb going off? Do the sun got to change colors? Do the moon got to change colors? No. It got to be a group of people on one accord and one mission and one goal, and they make it happen. So I'm always speaking on the saints will judge the world. The saints. These will be one people with one God, with one truth, with one light, and one way. And together, they're going to be able to do the will of God, which is judge the world, correct the world, put the world in justice, put the world in righteousness, do all these things that we dream about happening through religion. So if you sit back and be like, why we ain't creating a government? Because when it comes to schools, when it comes to the way we do things, when it comes to all these things, governments control these things. So if we're not trying to form a government, then we're not trying to what? Control nothing. Now, the Bible talks about prophets of Babylon, and the Bible talks about Babylon a lot. It talks about prophets of Babylon and Babylon a lot. In Revelations and Genesis, through the whole Bible, you got Babylon. And the prophets, they talk about Babylon. So Babylon is something that's very, very important, or a very, very place, thing, or person that's really significant when it comes to God prophecy. So what is Babel? Babel is when people talk about something and continue to talk about something, but it don't benefit us. They just babbling. Prophets of Babylon, not prophets of God. Now, Babylon got a tower. Now, a lot of times when we come on platforms, we say what? Let's build. We don't have a hammer. We don't have a saw. We don't have a tape measure. We don't even have a ruler stick. We have what? Our mouth. So we could either be speaking the word of God, or we could be what? Babbling. And just because you quoting scriptures, that don't mean you ain't babbling. So this tower of Babylon, is being tore down because people are just talking and stacking lies on top of lies. And now this have reached heaven. So now this lie, which is the heaven, the mind frame, is in everybody's mind. So what do Revelation talk about? A new heaven. What do Isaiah talk about? A new heaven, a new earth, a new mind, a new body. Because if we don't, we'll continue to be what? In Babylon. People just talking. So when you sit back, especially melanated people, where's our government? Where's our round table? Where's our candidates? Where is it? Where they in Africa? Whether they're in America? Whether they're in South America? Where are the candidates that's running for office? Now, the Bible talk about what? God election. God elect. What would we do when we're trying to elect officials? Are they not elected officials? So God elect. The election. So right now, this is the election of God. This is not your president election. And this is not your normally politic election. This is the election of God to change the world. Not neighborhoods, not just America, not just Africa, not just Europe, but the whole world is going to be changed with the will of God. And I think that's what my melanated people, and my melanated people play a big part in this. All nations play a part in this because the Bible says all nations will come to God. It's one nation under God, but at the same time, the melanated people play a higher role because why? We got the image. That's why they use us to create images. Racists use us to create images. Why? Because we have a gift. But the devil is using our gift. So now we are going back to God. or we are finding God to give God our gift. That's why I say let God use you. You know, and I think y'all, so I was just sitting back thinking like how we do not have a round table for government, for leadership, for unity. We have religion. We have let's make money. We can print money, y'all. We make a government. We can print the money. We can make our own money. We can put our own faces on it if we had a government. But since we're not having a government, we're still in submission. They also have a picture on Facebook. It was all the nations sitting around the table, and the black man was bent over, and the table was sitting on the black man's back. So when the black man get up, then what happened to the table that everybody eating from? It's turned over. You know, so the thing about the melanated government, because a lot of people think it's racist, but I want to say this: it's an emergency for African people. It's an emergency. Look what's going on in the Congo. The whole world talking about Israel. Nobody talking about the Congo. Nobody talking about the wars in Africa. But Israel's on everybody's timeline. So right now, for so-called black people, so-called African people, so-called Moorish people, so-called melanated people, it's an emergency. So if I was in the hospital, when you come to the hospital, you have an emergency. You don't sit down in the waiting room. You go straight to what? The back to get what? Operated on. So right now, it's an emergency for black people. All other nations, you have to wait in the waiting room, but you can come to the hospital and you will get healed. But you have to sit down in the waiting room. Black people going straight in because it's an emergency. So I hope this message reached the right people, because this is a call out for all my brothers and sisters who think they are elected of God. It's time for us to meet up. It's time for us to sit down. It's time for us to elect leaders. And it's time for us to really get the truth and the healing of the nations, you know, in manifestation and not in Babylon. Because remember, the devil teaches the Bible. The children of God fulfills the Bible. Because the devil would never do God's will. The devil will be in disguise as doing God's will, but never do it. And what better way to be in disguise than to just read the scriptures every day, but never do them? When the real children of God, they're going to actually do the scriptures. So like I said, I hope the Father has circumcised y'all hearts and ears for the message. And I hope this message reached the right people, y'all. The time is now. It's been now. But, you know, better now than never.